How's it going? Today is 18th of November, a Monday, and we're going to be taking a look at the market, our press releases. Let's try to scout perhaps some of the opportunities that might be available, if not right now, perhaps in the future when it comes to cars and perhaps no vehicles on road vehicles, and if there would be an option engaging with some of the partners, making sure that they have all necessary equipment available, right? So that's a task for today. So there would be cars operating with no people if possible, I guess. It's a challenge within itself, but anyway. uh, uh, we can begin by taking a look at some of the world news story. That would be UK's Minister reiterates commitment to deepen partnership with India. Sure, we can engage. We can reach out to see if they might be interested, or perhaps they have a busy schedule, all these kind of things, right? But overall, that would be climate, tech, health, education, and development of the agenda as a cutting West and UK's ministers for Indo-specific visits in India to reiterate the UK's commitment to strengthen bilateral relations. Perhaps there might be partners if we can. Perhaps as of now, there might be a number of partners and we can even engage international perhaps, and there is a contact information, but that would be for media. We can perhaps try to reach out and see if we would be able to get in touch with person mentioned in the studio, but it's very unlikely, very slim chance, right? But anyway, so that would be partnership, right? From there, let's progress and let's take a look at this problem. Just a quick recap where we are on calendar. That would be week 168. Overall, it's a great week. We have done a lot of things. We're gonna be progressing to you next week. That will be week 169. We're gonna be taking a look at reaching out to a number of businesses, as well as every second day of the week, we're gonna be doing marketing and closing week by taking a look at government contracts. From that, we can understand entire subject is something that we were perhaps taking a look at previously, but that would be how much data would be collected, and while collecting all this data, we there is a number of potentially solutions that would need to be available. As of now, there might be some things that have been there might be a lot of things that are happening that we're not aware of, but anything, if anything, we're just focusing on one issue at a time, I guess. That would be data and data storage only. And I was trying to find information of for driverless cars, but not necessarily needs to be just cars, I guess. But overall, that would be where that data would come from, and more importantly, if possible, to store that data locally, and perhaps that would be improved services while storing this data locally, right? And that would be just some of the examples: sensor data, operational data, environmental data, user data, perhaps, and that would be local storage of just for areas, right? Without making too complicated, right? And for perhaps we can take a look at libraries. Perhaps libraries would be interested in having these capabilities, right? Previously, we were taking a look at libraries accounts, and I believe it's very hard to find that particular information, and perhaps it's been recorded. Most likely, we had been taking a look at that information already. I would like to understand better. So, for every pound invested, how what would be return on that investment? Would that be £6, perhaps, if possible, £8, even better, right? And overall, we can take a look at government's public library strategy that was published most likely in early 2024. And that will be just trying to understand where that data perhaps could be stored and if that will be part of government strategy. Perhaps we can just take a look at brief information, right? Since it would be a 10-minute video, and let's try to touch on the most important points. That would be perhaps taking a look at funding. That would be 20, just over 20 million. Library Improvement Fund is established libraries to upgrade their buildings and our technology. and equip them to meet the changing needs of local communities. In around 125 library services were successfully, perhaps to receive finances, and in around 227 announcement of these were made on. Okay. So I believe in the third round of that will be just under 5 perhaps million. So anyway. As well as there might be different initiatives, right? Providing 13 million of funding to expand the British Library business and all IP-centric network, including a new report on democratic entrepreneurship 2.0, right? And let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. Briefly, we can take a look at what really important after the British Library annual report and its accounts, as well as there's entire report that's been published, but most likely we can just briefly touch on what the library is already doing, and that would be custodianship, culture, research, learning, businesses. So libraries already doing a lot of, most likely doing a lot of research. When it comes to this part, I don't know all the details, but since the contracts, there might be a lot of issues. So if any so-called, said that we were taking a look at entrepreneurship, and if those people are being forced into some kind of agreements when it comes to research and or learning and or business support and or international, right, is something that we are taking a look at, potentially establishing relationships with some of the partners in India if possible, right? I don't know the contracts. Usually contracts can be very bad to enter in, but that is just an example. So it's not something that would be mentioned in this report, right? But they're doing a lot. At least they receive a lot of finances to do a lot, right? Let's progress. uh, I think I have read this report as something that would be a policy paper. I believe policy paper, and I think we have read it, right, and it was overall great. And I think there would be more attention brought to very important subjects. Since we have read it, not necessarily we would be having enough time to read it again. It's well written policy paper, so that's important part, right? As well as within the policy paper, there would be some of the highlights. That would be 4 points: lack of recognition across the government, local, and or national of the work that libraries do. So it's something that we are looking to do with this video, bringing more attention, as well as when reaching out to libraries, there's no response. Perhaps we're busy doing some other things, right? Of hundreds of libraries, response rates can be 2%, maybe. Far back as 2003, the DCMC library strategy called for greater recognition. Okay. So it's something that we are already doing with this video, if possible, bringing more attention. And we will try to most likely engage with partners mentioned in this video and to see if there would be person available, if there would be a volunteer available, who and how we can work with libraries, right? The lack of awareness among the general public of what modern day library offers. So perhaps we can improve some of the services by adding additional data and data storage services, right? If we can accomplish just one thing within the next 6 months, it would be great. A lack of comprehensive data on our libraries. Okay, so perhaps we can have data storage, right? Not necessarily just paper, but the digital data, right? We do not have an accurate national picture of how libraries are performing across the country, nor are libraries able to provide to an acceptance stable standards just how much they contribute to a key agenda from literacy. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be smart, but anyway, so it's fun. Anyway, let's forget the skills and now health and well-being. So the libraries perhaps already doing a lot of those kind of things, but just perhaps some of the people are not recognizing that and no promotion. If that's perhaps something that's been highlighted here. And the last point that would be a better sense of to what the government wants to see from our libraries, right? So perhaps we can write down entire offer, quote unquote, right? If it's something that libraries would be interested in, So that would be government and quote unquote government recognizing libraries. So that would be, we can suggest that to the government perhaps, and from there would be a partnerships when it comes to all that data where people would prefer to store that data locally. Potentially in those libraries with people prefer storing that data somewhere else. And most likely some of those services already been paid by taxpayers, right? That's close enough. Thanks for watching. See you next one.